No action? Wow, I thought we were going to have...
I was going to say take 5, but then I thought that's a really good candy bar and I can't go anywhere.
So here we are again back in the old RV, and as we stay maintaining the self-quarantine, self-social distancing, whichever we want to call it, it's actually getting us a little bit of time to get caught up on some projects we want to do. And now that we started customizing this and making it our own, the logical solution would be to replace the sound system, because anybody that has a Winnebago at this point, and if you're watching this video, you probably already know that the Winnebago sound system, the speakers suck. There's just no other way of putting it. They're just horrible. And the funny part about this for us is that when we started this journey a few years back, and we had just our 1994 Scamper, and it was, you know, a little pop-up, and we were into the whole retro thing, that we were immediately against any of this, right? So we had ripped out sinks, because who needs a sink? We had ripped out pretty much anything that was above and beyond, just basically a tent on wheels, right? So as we started doing it a little more, though, we were like, hey, those guys have batteries, and they can run their lights, and they don't have to worry about batteries, you know, inside lanterns and stuff. So we started with an onboard electrical system, and we kept progressing and progressing. One of the final things that we had done in the Scamper was put in an entire sound system, because we found at night, if we're playing cards or if we're playing a board game or we're just chilling by the fire, having a little bit of music was actually good for us. So when we got into here, we were like, wow, this has everything, right? So the dinette's out. We now have our reclining love seat with beautiful console and cup holders. The ability to kick our feet back. We replaced the television system, which I'll do in a separate video, because that's a huge thing for us, especially in the 2100 BH. So now it's time to take out the speakers. In looking this over, and I've seen a lot of forums where people are actually talking about, hey, how do I do this? And they are, to the most part, it's a pretty simple process, but then there's other things that are kind of wonky, right? So the first part, it's going to be a real simple video. For the first part, we're just going to take off the speaker grills. They just twist and pop down, and goodbye. So from here, inside here, let's see if you can get in here, Karri. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws that need to be taken down, and we'll just pop those down. And for those of you that are watching, and you're like, why? And we watching just him again. Karri is here. She's holding the camera for me, because some of these things you just can't do with a tripod. And I get to play Bob the Builder, Bob the Fixer, Bob the Repair Guy. I do not get to be Bob the Whoa. So anyhow, get back to what we're doing here. As you can see, this is very tough work. Having a power screwdriver or screw gun works really, really well. I will say we've already kind of looked at these already. So some of this was... all right, look. I don't like to be too negative in any of these videos, but sometimes you have to be. When we were taking down the other one, taking a look at these for measurements, we pulled the wires down. The wires just popped right out. So they came right out of the connection. And I've seen this with other people as well, working on different components. There's no reason for that. Put a good connection on there, and maybe a little heat shrink, you know, tubing, whatever. So basically, as you can see from the speaker itself, for you guys that know speakers, this is just, let's just call it what it is crap. So this is going to go, we'll put it back in the, we'll put them in the Scamper, just simply because we're going to be donating that out. So, yeah, so basically, so interesting lesson here. So the opening itself is about just about 5 inches across, a hair over. And the problem that becomes is if we go through and you order typical speakers, which would be about a 6.5-inch car audio speakers, for the most part, you would say, hey, wow, these should fit. That's not necessarily true, as we found out, because we had ordered a really nice set of Pioneers that we've had experience before in the past with, and they didn't fit. And I really don't want to be gouging this hole back out, because it's really just a 1/2-inch plywood with a thin veneer over that. And we've seen in different places, just from the flex of going down the road, that this Luan, or whatever it's called, skin here doesn't hold up well. There's cracking, as you can see up in the corner. This is a brand new camper too, and where the skin has separated. So we'd rather not have that right here. It's okay in the corner because I can repair that. We'll figure out a way to make that look a little more presentable. But like right here in the main living area, I don't want to see that coming in the door every day because it wasn't cheap. So so ironically with the Pioneers, they didn't fit. So when we had done the Scamper, and this is why that comes back, we had put these Boss Audios, some really cheap speakers, which actually really surprised us. The quality is pretty decent. Much better improvement over what was in here. And I'm trying not to say garbage, but it was garbage. These are a nice 3-way speaker, 6.5. I think I paid maybe $28 for the set. I will put a link in the description if you want to check those out. Again, I have no affiliation with Boss Audio other than it was cheap and I didn't want to spend a lot of money on the Scamper. But ironically, my wife says, "Hey, Bob, why don't we pull the ones out of the Scamper?" And I'm like, "Kara, they're not going to fit if the Pioneers don't fit." Now, we open up the old Scamper and I pull it out and they fit. Karri, you were right again. So as far as this goes, we're gonna, the connection is fairly simple. It's just a pop on, and then from here, it's just a matter of pushing them up into the thing.
Seriously?
And we're seriously that easy. And we'll just screw these back in and we're good to go.
I didn't
know
that.
I'm going to pause the video here because I just want to crimp the connections for a second, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so now we're just going to push this right up in here. And from here, we just screw it into the ceiling. Your holes are probably not going to line up, but so you have to make new ones for, oops, might help if on this one here, the ring goes on first. So we put the ring on and then we line up the holes. And, okay. Now we're good. And this is the problem that I had originally was the holes have to be, the screws go through the ring and then the grill will snap over the ring. And that's for this particular style of speaker. Some, like the other ones where the protective grill will just snap in place. You won't need that. But for this part, yep, as you can see, it makes a pretty solid connection here. I think it's only like 4 screws. Keeps everything nice and tight. There's that. And then from here, let's take our little screen grill cover. And that snaps on and boom, you're done. And then for the other side, it's just a matter of rinse, lather, repeat. So we'll swap out and we'll start take 2 with the second side here. We'll swap around.
Yep.
Okay, and here we are over to the other side. And again, this is going to be the same as the other side. This is pretty much standard for, whoops, pretty much standard for anything. As you can see, this one here, back to what I was talking about earlier, was the connections were just popped right off. So, again, not really it is what it is. I'm not going to go crazy, get upset about it, but at the same time, you would think with the amount of money you're spending, and Winnebago could have put a better control on that. But all right, so from here, it's just a matter of connecting our wires and doing the same thing as we did on the other side. All right, so now from there, once you're wired up, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put on our, for this particular model, they have little spacers that need to be put on with it. And again, not all of them are going to be like that, so look into your speakers. But for this particular set of the Boss Audio, we need to put these on. So we just line them up with the holes. That. And we're going to put the other side. Put your snap ring on. Or spacer, or whatever I've been calling it. And yeah, just mount it to the ceiling again. And the thing I'm trying to do here is make sure that I'm not reusing the same holes. This way here, everything just kind of bites a little more and gives a little more grip. And we keep it nice and secure, especially going down the road, and you know, things are going to get kind of jostled around a little bit. So once we do that, again, we put the clip on, it just kind of snaps in and pushes into place there, and a little twist, and you can make sure everything's all good. And then from there, we'll just come over, and you can see, beautifully installed. Now we could probably even, because I'm a fanatic about making sure everything's facing the right way, we'll face the elbows that way. So we'll come over to our little head unit here and see if we can pick up anything. Let's see, for mode, let's try FM. Okay, so we're all finished up here, and as you can tell, or hopefully you probably can't tell on that side, but the sound for us is incredibly improved. A lot more bass, overall just immersing sound. So with that, I bid you farewell. And nice little reminders. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little notification bell. It's free, and we all love free. So do that and get to know when I'm going to be around again. I promise that Karri will be back at some point on this side of the camera. I'm just a little afraid that she's too short to reach the ceiling. So with that, you guys have a great day. Catch you next time. Hey friends, Bob from 25 Plus Life here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. This way here we know you care. Thank you.